Curious facts you might not know about women. Women are oceans, mysterious, unpredictable, and deep. What you think you know is only surface. Wait for the final fact. It'll change how you see them forever. How inner cycles. Consider for a moment the relentless rhythm of the ocean, the steady turning of the seasons, the silent dance of the moon across the night sky. Everything in nature, everything alive, moves in cycles. Yet, in our linear, achievement-driven world, we often forget that the female body, mind, and spirit are perhaps the most profound living embodiment of this cyclical wisdom. This is not merely a biological fact, it is a fundamental energetic truth. Most perceive the female cycle, if at all, as a monthly inconvenience, a mood swing to be managed or, worse, dismissed. This is a colossal oversight, a profound misunderstanding of a deep inner intelligence. For women, their very biology orchestrates a complex symphony of hormonal shifts that influence not just physical states, but also cognitive function, emotional capacity, intuitive depth, and even social engagement. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's an evolutionary masterpiece. Imagine 4 distinct phases, each lasting roughly a week, each offering a unique energetic blueprint. There is the follicular phase, often likened to spring, a time of new beginnings, outward energy, planning, and mental clarity. Then comes ovulation, summer, a peak of vitality, connection, and profound receptivity, a time when women are often at their most outward and communicative. Following this, the luteal phase, autumn, brings an inward shift, a time for introspection, completion, and deep truth-telling. Finally, menstruation, winter, a time for shedding, rest, and profound renewal, where the veil between the conscious and subconscious thins, offering heightened intuition. When these phases are ignored, when women are expected to operate at the same linear pace, with the same emotional availability and the same mental sharpness every single day, we force them to live out of sync with their own profound inner rhythm. This leads to burnout, internal conflict, and a pervasive sense of inadequacy. It's like demanding a tree bear fruit in winter or bloom in autumn. It's an unsustainable expectation. The profound truth here is not just about understanding hormones. It's about recognizing the wisdom of non-linear existence. It's about appreciating that strength isn't always expressed as constant output, but often as adaptive responsiveness, as the ability to move through different energetic states with grace and purpose. For men, understanding this cyclical nature in the women around them, whether partners, colleagues, or friends, cultivates immense empathy and strategic interaction. It allows for a more patient, supportive, and ultimately more effective way of relating. For women, embracing their own cycles is a radical act of self-mastery, a reclamation of an ancient, powerful internal compass. It's about learning to leverage each phase's unique strengths rather than fighting against them. This inner cycle is a perpetual dance of creation, manifestation, reflection, and release, a living, breathing testament to the impermanence and renewal inherent in all life. Sound deep listening. We live in a world obsessed with speaking, with broadcasting, with the loudest voice. Yet, one of the most profound, often invisible capacities found within the female psyche is the art of deep listening. Not just with the ears, but with the entire being. This is a skill, a natural aptitude, honed over millennia through evolution and societal roles, that manifests as a profound ability to perceive not just the spoken word, but the unspoken currents beneath it. Think of it, the subtle shift in tone, the fleeting glance, the slight tension in a shoulder, the cadence of breath. Women often possess an exceptional capacity to register these micro-expressions, these nonverbal cues, and synthesize them into a coherent understanding of the underlying emotional landscape. This isn't magic, it's a sophisticated form of pattern recognition, a highly developed intuitive intelligence rooted in empathy, and a finely tuned nervous system. Biologically, this can be linked to the evolutionary need to protect and nurture, to anticipate needs and dangers before they are explicitly communicated, especially in vulnerable infants. Societally, women have often been tasked with maintaining social cohesion, necessitating a keen awareness of group dynamics and individual emotional states. This capacity for deep listening and intuitive understanding can be a tremendous asset, fostering profound connection and resolving conflicts before they escalate. It allows women to often perceive truths that remain hidden to others, to feel the ripple effects of actions before they occur, and to hold space for complex emotions without judgment. It's a form of emotional intelligence that runs exceptionally deep. However, this profound aptitude also comes with a hidden burden. Imagine constantly absorbing the ambient emotional noise of a room, the unspoken anxieties, the subtle resentments, the unexpressed joys. When this capacity is not consciously managed, it can lead to overwhelm, a feeling of being constantly flooded by external energies. Women are often carrying not just their own emotional weight, but also unconsciously absorbing the emotional energy of those around them. This is the unseen labor of empathy. The crucial insight here is to recognize this capacity not as a weakness to be suppressed, but as a superpower to be consciously wielded. For men, understanding this means recognizing that when a woman says, "I feel like something is off," it's rarely a baseless assumption. It's often the output of a sophisticated internal radar. It calls for curiosity, for asking deeper questions, for truly listening to her. Observations, rather than dismissing them as mere intuition. For women, it's about developing boundaries around this profound capacity. It's learning to discern which emotional currents to engage with and which to observe without internalizing. It's about protecting one's own energetic space and consciously choosing when and how to deploy this incredible power of perception. Deep listening is not passive. It is an active engagement with the world, a conduit to deeper truth, but one that demands careful self-management. Relational weave. The tapestry of human existence is woven with threads of connection. Yet, the way these threads are spun and valued often differs profoundly between genders. For women, the relational weave, the intricate network of relationships, community, and social bonds, is not merely an aspect of life. It is often central to their identity, their sense of well-being, and their very definition of success. This is a foundational difference, rooted in biology and amplified by culture, that holds immense power and offers unique insights. Consider the biological imperative, the journey of childbirth, the communal nature of raising children, the ancient tribal structures where women often managed the delicate social fabric of the group. These experiences have deeply etched into the female psyche a profound drive for connection, for collaboration, for fostering harmony within a collective. This manifests as a remarkable capacity for building rapport, for nurturing networks, for remembering details about others, and for investing deeply in the emotional health of relationships. Women often instinctively prioritize the health of the connection over individual achievement, understanding that true strength lies in a supportive collective. This isn't to say men don't value relationships, but the mode of connection often differs. For many women, relationships are not just transactions or alliances. They are living, breathing entities requiring constant cultivation and emotional investment. This can lead to incredible resilience within communities, robust support systems, and a powerful sense of belonging. The village is often sustained by this unseen relational labor. However, this deep integration into the relational weave also presents unique challenges. When one's sense of self is so deeply intertwined with the health of one's connections, boundaries can become blurred. The fear of disrupting harmony, of disappointing others, or of being ostracized can lead to self-sacrifice, people-pleasing, and a suppression of authentic needs. The weight of maintaining the relational weave can become immense, an invisible burden that drains energy and diminishes individual voice. It is a constant negotiation between self and others, often prioritizing the needs of the collective. The crucial insight here is twofold. For men, recognizing this deep relational drive means understanding that emotional investments in relationships are often not optional for women. They are foundational. It means appreciating the unseen effort that goes into maintaining social bonds and validating that effort. It means engaging with relationships with a similar depth of emotional presence. For women, the wisdom lies in discerning between healthy interdependence and self-erasing codependency. It's about consciously strengthening the quality of connections, not just the quantity. It's about establishing clear, compassionate boundaries that protect one's authentic self while still contributing to the collective. It's about understanding that a healthy relational weave is built on the strength of individual, authentic threads, not on their erasure. The power of the relational weave is undeniable, a force for unity and resilience, but its true strength emerges when its intricate threads are consciously and respectfully managed. Troll's perceptive lens. How we perceive the world shapes our reality. Yet, the lens through which women often view their environment, their challenges, and their own value is fundamentally shaped by external forces in ways that are rarely acknowledged. This isn't about subjective opinion. It's about a deeply ingrained, often unconscious calibration of self-worth and safety that profoundly impacts decision-making and self-expression. From a young age, many women are subtly and sometimes overtly conditioned to view themselves through an external gaze. Their value is often subtly linked to their appearance, their perceived agreeableness, their capacity to nurture, or their ability to avoid disrupting the status quo. This objectification or external validation lens is not just about physical beauty. It extends to intellectual contributions, emotional responses, and even career choices. The perpetual question becomes, am I enough as seen by others? This constant external calibration creates an internal landscape of heightened self-awareness, but also potential anxiety. Every interaction, every public appearance, every decision can be filtered through this lens of potential judgment or approval. This isn't a weakness, it's an adaptive strategy in a world that has, for centuries, placed women in positions where their safety, opportunities, and even survival could depend on how they were perceived by those in power, often men. This manifests as an incredible attention to detail in presentation, a capacity for self-critique, and often a profound resilience in navigating external pressures. However, the shadow side of this perceptive lens is a profound disconnect from the authentic self. When the internal compass is constantly being overridden by external signals, it becomes difficult to hear one's own voice, to trust one's own instincts, and to pursue desires that might not align with societal expectations. This can lead to imposter syndrome, chronic self-doubt, and a pervasive feeling of not being truly seen or understood. The constant vigilance required to navigate this external gaze is exhausting. The profound insight here is to recognize the existence of this external lens and begin the process of consciously recalibrating it. For those interacting with women, understanding this dynamic means validating their internal experience, affirming their inherent worth independent of external factors, and actively creating spaces where their authentic voice is not just heard, but celebrated. It means challenging the societal narratives that perpetuate this external gaze. For women, the journey is one of internal liberation. It's about consciously shifting from an external locus of control to an internal one. It's about recognizing that self-worth is inherent, not earned through external validation. It's about developing an unshakable inner knowing, a profound trust in one's own intuition and wisdom, even when it diverges from what is expected. This reframing of the perceptive lens is not just an act of individual empowerment. It's a revolutionary act that ripples through families, communities, and ultimately the entire human collective. It is the journey from being seen to truly seeing oneself. The spore authentic drive. Beneath the layers of expectation, conditioning, and societal roles lies a powerful, often silent, authentic drive within every woman. This isn't just a desire for success or happiness, it is a profound yearning for meaning, for purpose, for a life that aligns with her deepest values and unique contribution to the world. This intrinsic force is often misunderstood, sometimes suppressed, but always present, a quiet but persistent hum within the soul. In many cultures, women have historically been defined by their roles in relation to others: daughter, wife, mother, caregiver. While these roles are often deeply fulfilling and essential, they can also inadvertently obscure the individual woman's unique aspirations, her personal mission, her hero's journey that extends beyond relational duties. The authentic drive speaks to the individual's inherent calling, the unique combination of talents, passions, and insights she carries that are meant to be expressed in the world. This is not selfish. It is essential for holistic well-being and the full expression of human potential. This drive manifests in countless ways: a yearning for creative expression, a passion for justice, an entrepreneurial spirit, a desire for intellectual mastery, a deep calling to lead, or a quiet commitment to a cause. It is the force that propels women to break barriers, to challenge norms, to innovate, and to contribute beyond what is prescribed or expected. It is the longing to live a life that feels resonant, aligned, and truly her own. However, this authentic drive often encounters significant friction. External expectations can create a constant push-pull, making women feel guilty for pursuing their own passions or as if they are abandoning their duties. The fear of being perceived as too much, selfish, or unfeminine can lead to self-censorship and the quiet abandonment of deeply held dreams. This suppression doesn't make the drive disappear, it simply pushes it underground, leading to a lingering sense of unfulfillment, anxiety, or even resentment. The internal conflict can be immense, a silent battle between external obligation and internal truth. The profound insight here is to recognize and honor this authentic drive, both in oneself and in the women around us. For partners, friends, and family, it means actively supporting and encouraging women to explore their individual callings, providing space, resources, and validation for their unique pursuits. It means understanding that nurturing this drive is not a distraction from relational duties, but often an enhancement, leading to a more fulfilled, vibrant individual who has more to give. For women, the journey is one of profound self-permission and courage. It's about listening deeply to that inner hum, identifying what truly lights up their soul, and taking courageous, intentional steps towards expressing that authentic drive. It's about understanding that their purpose is not solely defined by their relationships or their roles, but by the unique essence they bring to the world. It's about daring to claim their own narrative, their own path, and their own definition of a life well lived. To truly thrive, this authentic drive must be given breath, space, and unwavering commitment. Let's observe boundaries. We have explored the profound inner cycles, the depth of listening, the intricate relational weave, the perceptive lens, and the potent authentic drive that define aspects of the female experience. Now, we arrive at the critical practice that synthesizes all these insights into actionable wisdom, the conscious observation and cultivation of boundaries. This is not a concept, it is a vital discipline, a fundamental protocol for navigating the complexities of modern life with grace, power, and integrity. Boundaries are not walls. They are carefully constructed energetic fences that define your space, protect your energy, and communicate your needs. They are the silent language of self-respect, and they are absolutely essential for a woman to thrive in a world that often demands her to be endlessly accommodating, infinitely available, and perpetually nurturing. Without clear boundaries, the cyclical rhythms are disrupted, the deep listening leads to overwhelm, the relational weave becomes a tangled mess, the perceptive lens distorts into self-doubt, and the authentic drive is silenced. The first habit, born from understanding inner cycles, is cyclical self-care. This means consciously aligning your energy, your schedule, and your commitments with your natural energetic phases. Instead of pushing through every day at the same pace, learn to lean into the introspection of menstruation, the outgoing energy of ovulation, the planning clarity of the follicular phase, and the reflective nature of the luteal phase. This isn't about laziness, it's about intelligent energy management. When you honor your body's innate wisdom, you move with, not against, your own powerful current, preventing burnout and enhancing productivity. This habit empowers you to reclaim your time and energy as sacred resources, fostering deep resilience. The second habit, arising from deep listening, is conscious filtering. Recognize that your capacity for empathy and intuitive perception is a tremendous gift, but it must be protected. Practice mindful awareness of what emotional energy you are absorbing from your environment. Learn to identify the difference between empathy, understanding another's feelings without internalizing them, and emotional contagion, taking on another's feelings as your own. This involves techniques like visualization to create energetic shields, or simply pausing to ask, "Is this mine?" before internalizing an emotion. Conscious filtering allows you to remain compassionate and connected without becoming overwhelmed, preserving your own emotional reservoir. The third habit, in response to the relational weave, is authentic delineation. This is the art of clearly and kindly communicating your needs and limits within relationships. It means saying no when necessary without guilt, expressing your preferences and clearly defining what you are and are not available for. This is not about pushing people away. It's about inviting true, respectful connection. When you authentically delineate, you teach others how to treat you, and you ensure your relationships are built on mutual respect and genuine exchange rather than obligation or resentment. This habit strengthens your connections by making them more honest and sustainable. The fourth habit, addressing the perceptive lens, is internal validation practice. Actively work to detach your sense of self-worth from external approval or societal expectations. This involves daily practices of self-affirmation, journaling to explore your internal truths, and consciously celebrating your own achievements and qualities, independent of what others might think. It's about building an unshakable inner core of self-trust and self-acceptance. When you practice internal validation, you reclaim your power to define your own worth, freeing yourself from the exhausting pursuit of external validation. This habit empowers you to stand firmly in your truth, regardless of the gaze of the world. These four habits are not isolated. They synergize for maximum impact. When you practice cyclical self-care, you have more energy to engage in conscious filtering. When you have filtered external energies, you have the clarity to engage in authentic delineation. And when your boundaries are clearly delineated, you naturally strengthen your internal validation as you are honoring your true self. This creates a virtuous cycle of self-respect, energetic alignment, and profound empowerment. This is the path to navigating the world not as a passive recipient of circumstances, but as a conscious architect of your own vibrant, authentic life. True strength. We have journeyed through the subtle yet profound realities that shape the female experience, from the wisdom of inner cycles to the power of an authentic drive. We've uncovered insights rarely spoken, offering a new lens through which to understand a significant portion of humanity. Now, we arrive at a singular, overarching truth. The ultimate strength lies not in conforming, not in suppressing, but in the radical act of conscious awareness and authentic expression. True strength is found in embracing the entirety of one's being, the cyclical nature, the deep emotional processing, the relational intelligence, the perceptive sensitivities, and the powerful individual purpose. It is in recognizing these as inherent gifts, not burdens, and in consciously cultivating practices that honor and empower them. It is the courage to stand in one's truth, to set boundaries with grace, and to live in alignment with one's inner wisdom, even when the world demands otherwise. For anyone seeking to understand women more deeply, or for women seeking to understand themselves, this journey is an invitation to move beyond stereotypes, beyond superficiality, into a realm of genuine empathy and profound respect. It is about seeing the human beneath the labels, the intricate dance of spirit and biology, and recognizing the immense potential that unfolds when we embrace rather than resist our true nature. This understanding isn't just knowledge, it's a pathway to deeper connection, greater harmony, and a more conscious world for us all. This is the wisdom that transforms. Which habit are you going to start first to cultivate deeper understanding and protect your inner energy? Drop your choice below. Let's inspire each other.